Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we figure out how to build and run a SaaS. I'm Brian.
And I'm Benedikt. Each week, we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we work on our products and keep the lights on by building band websites. Today is September 22nd, and I am stressed.
This is episode number 59, and I am feeling rested.
I feel like our feelings should be switched.
They should. You're supposed to be on vacation.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be on vacation, but that didn't really work out the way I planned it.
So you had said you were hoping that you would be off today. We were going to go ahead and record at the end of your day, but you were hoping that you would be signed out of work by now.
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
Well, sort of. I'm signed out of user list work, but something else came up. So I'm working on a redesign of one of the band websites that are still on the Stage CMS setup. Mm-hmm. And it's basically I'm down to 3 paying customers by now, and this is like the biggest one of those 3. And it was kind of planned that they get a new design this year because they have a new release coming up and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we agreed to have it done by beginning of November. And you can also probably already guess where this is going. Somewhere in some record company decided it would be a good idea to do everything a month earlier. So website is supposed to be done October 1st, and that's smack in the middle of my vacation where I'm not even at home. So everything had to be done within a week, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you able to charge an expedite fee for that, or were you in that position?
Probably. Like I should have, but I mean,
people listening can't see, but Benedikt, your head is just like in your hands.
It just like right before this, I had a call with the designer working, like who did the layouts and stuff, and she was like, "Yeah, we should probably have charged like an extra fee for that." And I'm like, "Yeah, probably should have," but I mean, well, for one, it's not like those jobs pay. Like we get some payment, but like relative to the amount of work we put in, it's nothing. So add nothing to nothing was nothing. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And also with COVID and all of that, I feel like they're probably cash limited anyway. So I'm not sure if that would have worked out well. And honestly, like it's not like this is a new thing. Like something like this happens every single time. So it's not like it's a big surprise.
Yeah. Man.
Well, anyways, having high hopes to be done with all of this tomorrow.
Okay, so I was about to ask what's the status and your
basics are done. Basically, still have to fix some like responsiveness stuff, and now after the call with the designer, I have a lot of like small fixes here and there. But once that is done, it's hopefully done for good. And there's also the slight chance that they might again move the deadline, but this time like postpone it by a week or so. So maybe I don't have to launch the website during my vacation.
Wow.
Well, there's the confirmation as we speak. Now it's a week later. All the stress for nothing.
You're serious? You just gotta...
Yeah. It just a notification popped up. New launch date is October 9th instead of October 1st. But like I'm not complaining because that means I can go into vacation mode basically right now.
Woohoo! Oh wow. Okay.
That gives me
that's exciting radio, people.
Yeah.
I mean, just happening live as we speak. Okay. Well, congrats on your brand new vacation starting immediately.
I probably still do some small things tomorrow, but like that removes so much of the stress.
Good, that's great. That's awesome. Where are you going?
Can we re-record the intro now?
I mean, I guess. Where are you going? What's the
we're going to a part of Germany that's called the Saxon Swiss. And it's worth Googling it because like the landscape there's really amazing.
Cool.
It's like, well, it's not really like the Grand Canyon, but well, similar-ish. I don't know.
Okay. Saxon
Swiss.
Yeah, this is cool. This is oh man, I'm looking at like this picture of a really beautiful arch bridge.
Yeah, that's like one of the sites that are there. There are like basically all those rock formations, and there are castles in between. And
yes,
yeah,
oh my goodness, the trees look gorgeous. Are they changing colors right now?
Probably, I guess. I mean, I can tell you once I'm back, but yeah, from the seasons, it should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, this looks fantastic. There's this river going through it. Oh man, this is great. So, are you staying somewhere like?
Yeah, we basically rented an Airbnb of sorts, and we didn't realize it when we booked it, but it's like right next to this bridge thing. So
The Bastion Bridge.
Yeah, the Bastion Bridge, right next to it, basically. So we might be able to see it from out of the window. So that's yeah. I only realized when I was planning for like how to drive there, and I was like, that seems like awfully close to all the sites that are there. And then suddenly I realized it's smack in the middle of it. So yeah. We're basically staying there for
I pronounced it wrong. I pronounced it wrong, Benedikt. It's not the Bastion Bridge. It's the Elbsensteingebirge. How was that?
I have bad? No idea what you just
cool.
said.
All right, yeah. Sorry. Let's just keep going then. Pretend that didn't happen. Well, that's awesome. So I hope you have a great time. But are you gonna you're gonna have your laptop with you, and you've got Wi-Fi and kind of checking in? Okay. I mean, yeah. That's the
stage. Feel like we're not at a stage where I can just like disconnect entirely and be gone for a while.
Weeks at a time. Yeah.
Weeks at a time. Yeah. But I mean, the plan is to have all that stuff with me, but not use it.
Yeah.
Unless something horrible comes up. Which probably will, because that's always like it. Like last time we went on a vacation, things were fine until they were not, and I had to hot fix stuff for a day. But I mean, yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah. Well, how's other user list stuff going? Are those you were talking about custom landing pages for the ads, and how's all that?
Yeah, we were able to finish all of that. We have like 2 custom landing pages for different ads right now.
Okay.
To be honest, I haven't checked like how they are performing and stuff like that. But at least we made it. We finished everything in time, and Asia was happy with the results. So
cool.
It's up and running.
2.
Yeah, 2 pages? Like 2. We have like. I think we have like 3 or so design variants, and I think one of them already matched the homepage somewhat. And we created 2 new landing pages that match the design of those ads.
Got it. Did you what was the discussion or Asia's thought around, let's remove navigation, no footer, literally the only thing you can do on this page? Like what's the current, the current thought on that approach?
Yeah. It seems like it's still the thing to do. Like those are like the landing pages are basically one pages. There's a hero section with no additional navigation. That's all hidden. I think the only thing that it's sort of a navigation is the logo, like the user list logos on top, and you can still click it to get to the homepage.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is gone. There's a pricing grid on there. There's a couple testimonials, like feature previews, screenshots, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big CTA at the bottom as well. And then the footer is hidden as well. And honestly, I feel like it's kind of stupid, but apparently that's the thing you do. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, I think the reasoning, as far as I understood what Asia was saying, is that by hiding all of that, you make sure that you're sure about the conversion.
Totally.
Like if that one page actually resonates with people. But it's basically the only reason to not have the navigation is so you can fine tune that one page and like improve it.
Yeah.
And when you feel like it's ready, then it's okay to add the footer back in because, well, some people might want to browse anyways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's another one of those things where there's the tension between what performs well and what doesn't feel quite. Well, I don't. Right is not the word, but yeah. I mean, I land on those pages, and like one of the first things I do is just to delete all of that. Just go to the domain. Like, okay, what do you do? But that's a very small sample size of me. Over hundreds or a couple thousands of visitors.
Yeah.
If it changes a percentage of them, like it's meaningful. So. But that's where the tension is it works. It also just sometimes feels kind of weird, but
yeah, exactly. I still feel like the footer should be in there because like for people, like I don't see anyone coming to this landing page, reading it and be like, yeah, okay, credit card is out. I'll sign up right away. And for those, it would be nice to be able to just browse a little bit, like read the knowledge base and stuff like that.
Is that the starting a trial, pulling out the credit card and starting a trial? That is the CTA on these custom landing pages.
Yeah,
it's not like okay, cool. I think I guess in my head, it was like a not a lead magnet kind of a thing, but like, oh hey, this is user list, and we do the thing that you were just searching for.
Yeah.
Here's some free guides. Give us your email address. That was the conversion, but it's start your trial.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's start a trial, and we also had we had ads running for we have the worksheets as a lead magnet.
Right.
And we have a dedicated landing page for those, even before like we created new ones. And for some reason that didn't convert very well. I mean, yeah. Maybe it's the wrong lead magnet. I don't know.
They're super. I know those worksheets that you're talking about. They're super, super helpful. They're full of stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, here is work that you can do.
Yeah.
There's that great Joanna Weeb microcomp talk where she's like, be careful when your call to action is, here you go, here's some work to do.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? There's even though it's like high value, you're going to want to do this. You'll be more successful if you do these things. Random visitor is not looking to do more work, and they're looking to do less. So
yeah,
even though it's great content, I wonder if that's why it isn't converting.
Yeah. Maybe
I one of 100 theories. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're onto something there because, like, if we learned anything over the last 1.5 years or year or so, is that userless isn't an impulse buy product. Like, it's not like you come to a landing page and sign up right away. It's more like it has to grow on you a little bit. Or you have to actually feel the need. But then again, I mean, the ads are targeting people who are currently having the need to do something like this. So maybe they're like more to the bottom of the funnel, and it's easier for them to just sign up right from the landing page.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we have to figure out this like a different lead magnet that's more like aspirational and less, well, basically the ebook on lifecycle messaging or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that works better. I don't know.
Well, do you have a sense, like, what's the first aha moment for a user list customer?
Well, the success metric we have in our onboarding, so to say, is first message sent to a customer.
Okay.
Yeah. At this point, we consider them fully activated, and if they don't see the value by then, they probably never will.
Like they're just not a good fit customer.
Yeah. So that's the thing we're aiming for. But again, they're the two hurdles of like getting the integration going and writing the content. And those are still, like, even a year after launch, those are still the two big problems people run into. And maybe the credit card up front, but yeah.
Well, it definitely seems like, that's a double-edged sword, that the first few things they have to do, you gotta map out, write a bunch of content, wire it up, do all this work. And so there's a hurdle that people have to get over. But when you get them there, the buy-in is probably pretty strong. Like, you're not gonna, if you invest in user list, you're not going to want to switch this tool again.
Yeah.
You're
that's
gonna
true.
be invested in this one being the one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's the hope. I mean, our churn isn't like, especially if you like look at long time customers, like the churn is really relatively low. But like a lot of people, like, we get most churn after like people signing up for the, like, basically ending the trial and then adding one more month and then still realizing that you're not using it and churn out then, or something like that, something along those lines.
Sure. Right.
So that's most of our churn. Like, people who set it up and start sending rarely churn out, at least not as fast as everyone else.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I would imagine it'd be interesting to see, like, where's the cliff? The churn between somebody who has sent 0 messages versus the churn for customers who have created 5 messages and sent them to at least one customer.
Yeah.
And at that point, then, maybe it's worth user list's time to. Or y'all already offer free, like, concierge onboarding, right?
Yeah, we do that. Nobody
takes you up. Yeah.
We recently we had a call with Einar of Tiny Seed, and he mentioned something similar. We're like, yeah, we have the email here, and showed the email. He was like, yeah, but like, you're not really offering anything. You're suggesting that they could maybe have a call with you, but like, what's the benefit for them? So we recently changed the email to be like more obvious and tell people why it's a good idea to have a call with us. But still, so far nobody took us up on that. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, it sure feels like there's an opportunity there, though.
Yeah. I mean, what we're kind of working towards is like, with the company's feature, once that is done, the next step is like integrations. And I'm really hoping for, like, by having more integrations, for example, like integrating with Stripe directly, making it a lot easier for people to, well, get over the first integration hurdle, because it's then it's more or less one click. And once we know that it's a Stripe account that is connected, we can even like be smarter with the like, we have the campaign templates that you can set up for like standard stuff, but they're usually missing a trigger or any additional logic in them. But once we know, like, once the data source is something we understand, then we can probably also be a little bit smarter with the templates we provide and make them basically one click, like something like one click onboarding emails or one-click failed payment emails and stuff like that. So my hope is that once we get to that part, things will be a little bit easier. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you. What's up with you?
Let's see. I think it's another slow week on my side in a good way, I will say. That's why I'm feeling a bit rested. I mean, yeah, last week I was just talking about how I just feel like I have no margin in multiple areas. So I just, at least for a few days there, I just decided to create some. So I just took Wednesday off. I just had the sense of I'm probably not going to have a terribly productive day anyway. I might as well get some rest. So I just took Wednesday off. I just drove up the canyon a little bit and took my hammock and my fishing pole and just went fly fishing and read a book for and it was very refreshing, very relaxing. And then my client is in a bit of a I want to say like a bit of a hectic mode right now. So there's a whole lot of work and fast paced coming in. So just cranking that out Thursday and Friday. And then I took the time I did have, I was just doing admin stuff, just on the, taxes and side of things, just to feel like, okay, all that's in order, finances, financial planning, just like, just to have put that low simmer of stress kind of away, like, that's being addressed. So, it's just, again, it's that tension and balance of, I feel a whole lot more rested. I also didn't get a few things done that I had wanted to. But this is how I think it needs to be for me to keep from burning myself out. Again. And so, but I guess, so then, the good news was, Headlamp started ranking in the 30s, from the, like hundreds and somethings, not even showing up. It's got this notification from Mangools that boom. So in the 30s. So I think that, headlamp.team, that new domain, is out of the Google, purgatory. And so now I need to keep cranking on some stuff, getting some more backlinks, and get those things up into the, front page, start generating some more traffic, generating more content, and just keeping that going. So that was encouraging. That's where that stands. I still haven't realized, like, I still have not written a new thing, because, like, same old conversation here of just feeling, analysis paralysis, and just like, get over it, man.
Just write something.
Just do so. Yeah, exactly. Like, analysis paralysis is just the worst feeling. I love momentum. even if you end up changing course down the road, like, momentum feels really good. I did have I had another really good call with my my friend who is at an up market competitor, and it looks like, I think it'll probably take a month or so for it to really form and take shape, but there's like some contract work that he wants to bring me on board for, and see if there's, because he's like, dude, I just really think there's a win-win here, where if you build this in the right way, we could use it. It's not going to take any business away from us. It's going to help you. It's going to help us. We can offer it as like a white labeled solution. You've got background in the industry and you're on the development side. This could just really work for everybody if you're interested.
That sounds really exciting.
Yes, that feels like a really great opportunity to just be in the same mental space all week long, you know, um, rather than like working on Headlamp and then hopping over to this healthcare startup. That's a great client, love the work, but it's just switching, definitions and terminology and customers and everything. So I do feel like if that were to work out and I could, over time, phase out my involvement with my other client, then I think that would be a net gain in many, many, many ways, actually.
Yeah.
So
That sounds really exciting.
yeah,
Are you the one thing that would worry me there is
yeah.
like I'd want to make sure that the paperwork on this engagement is airtight.
Yeah. Airtight.
Because I mean, sure, you're not a direct competitor, but you're in the same space.
Yep.
Like the worst thing that I can imagine that would happen is like a year or two down the road, they like the company at least notices that you're building something, not necessarily perceiving it as a threat, but then like, this Brian guy, didn't he work for us?
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Like,
and we have already had a very
yeah.
open, candid, direct conversation about that exactly. And I mean, this, like any time you sign a contract as a freelancer, there's always like that clause in there where they're like, anything you create while you're engaged with us is ours. Like, no, anything I create for you is yours. Anything else I come up with is mine always. Like there are those handfuls of clauses that I always, always have to look out for. But this one will need to be very explicit and very, very, very
it could
clear.
Probably have a section there that makes it very clear that you're working on a very similar thing, and that's totally fine, and everyone's happy with this. And
exactly.
You're just the one thing that stresses me out a little bit. I know. Just thinking about it.
You are right to bring it up. I think you're right to be worried about it, and it will be helpful for you to stay worried about it. For me to read the language to you to be sure everybody's comfortable, and lawyers too, of course. But anyway, you're totally right. Like that's the one way it could go sideways. So many other ways just feels like, all right, this is a really, really good. This could be a great situation.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty hopeful that will come together.
I mean, sounds like a good opportunity, and like just like not having to switch context. I mean, you're still sort of switching context between like their project and Headlamp, but I mean, it's still like if you end up just being in the same problem space, that's already a big win.
Exactly right. Yes, that's exactly right. It at least it feels like switching projects in a headspace as opposed to full on just context switching. But I mean that's pretty much what I've got. I think that actually the other thing I'm trying to sort out, or that's got me just thinking, is I'm having just again back to momentum. I'm having a hard time harnessing creative energy for Headlamp at the moment, and because so I notice like when I am just thinking about things. I've been designing a board game, which has been like a bucket list item for me for a little while, and I notice that when I'm just kind of in idle, like my mind is going towards game design and board games, and not what usually happens when like my mind is in idle and I'm thinking about Headlamp or whatever startup it is I'm working on. So I'm like, on the one hand, I feel guilty about that, because I don't have the traction that I want, don't have the momentum I want. I should be putting all my energy over here. Then on the other hand, it's like, well, that's just going to burn you out. You know how that's going to go. Let your creative energy go where it wants to go, and you'll come back re-energized. So that's just
is it a board game about remote work?
No, 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 it's not.
Tell me,
It's
tell me more about it though. It sounds
it's
like
like a little. It's a like a hex tile based dungeon crawl kind of game where the players draft cards that represent a certain type of fighter, and then you know draft action cards and attack cards and arm those fighters on in your hand until you're ready to move to a certain part in the dungeon and try to attack that monster and earn victory points. And you're racing your opponent around the dungeon and adding resistances to monsters that you think that they're about to attack. It's very, I mean, it is very like D&D oriented, because we started home, or my wife is doing 99% of the work. Started homeschooling our third grader, and he loves D&D. And this is just my attempt to like, how can I get him to do a ton of math in 45 minutes while he thinks he's playing a game? And so it has a ton of it. I mean, obviously, yeah, for just, if you're familiar with D&D, it's like so much addition, division, multiplication, resource management, logic. It's so, and it's actually, we've played it a handful of times, and it's surprisingly fun.
Nice.
And so anyway, but it's just this really great creative outlet that I think I just need to lean into for a little while, and not feel bad or guilty about it, because it's just necessary. Hobbies are good.
Like feeling guilty about it would probably just make things worse overall, because then you don't enjoy you don't enjoy working on the board game because you feel guilty about it. But when you're forcing yourself to work on like a new blog post for Headlamp, then you're constantly like trying to mute that background thread of like, oh, I could do this for the board game, and overall everything gets worse. So
totally. Yeah. I logged out of Twitter early last week because of that. I think like, you know, seeing folks post like, and you know, you want to thumbs up and like it and everything, but seeing people post their progress or celebrations and wins and things, like I just don't feel like I should be comparing myself to where they're at right now, and I'm just living my life over here, man.
Logging out of Twitter is a good thing to do for many reasons these days.
Yeah, it is.
By the way, just random thought that comes up with regards to Twitter is like, I feel like everyone's going to like, a lot of people in my timeline are trying to be thought leaderish these days. Like I see a lot of discussions about some area of business back and forth with like 10 people involved, and they're all more or less saying the same thing, but with different words. And in the end, nobody agrees, but still kind of agrees. And it's kind of, well, as someone like just reading it, it's like, oh, not another one of those like nitpicking words and stuff and definitions. And
it's
it's a little bit
agree, man.
a little bit annoying.
Well, and especially because the overlying truth of all of it is, hey, sometimes both are true. Like, there are 100,000 ways to be successful in business. My word. I'm not gonna condense it down to 140 freaking character, however many they give you now. But dude, you're so right about that. It's
I feel like the only thing that I feel like I can post in that regard, it depends. Like it's like the summary of all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like being nitpicky about all of this feels like such a waste of time. Like, I mean, I see the value in trying to understand like fundamental truths about things, but like it's super hard to make them just like 100% this is the way to do it, this is not the way to do it. It's like there's always so many things in between. And
well, I mean, it's because Twitter has just morphed into this place where the right answer, it depends, which is usually the right answer. It just does not play on that platform. It doesn't get responses. It doesn't get retweeted, and so it doesn't bubble up to everybody's timeline. It's freaking, it's crazy. It's like, not sure what it's called, but the quippy, pithy quote is, when somebody takes your worst possible intention and elevates it to your only intention. And that just happens way too often, just across all social media now. And people have no grace. Well, I'm just, oh man, I'm sounding like a crotchety old man. Oh, it's Twitter. I gotta get off of the Twitters. But I do feel that way.
But like, then again, like, I mean, a lot of people are like just like getting rid of Twitter entirely and not logging in anymore.
Yeah.
That also feels like an extreme that I don't want to go to, because I feel like, as much as I'm complaining about like some people being like very black and white and just like discussions that feel kind of useless, it's still the place where most of the community hangs out. I feel like if I remove myself from there, then I'm losing touch with all of them, and like all of this bootstrapper ecosystem and stuff like that. And sure, there are Slack communities and stuff like that, but I feel like it's not the same thing in a way. So I'm as annoyed as I get with Twitter from times to times, especially now with all the political stuff going on.
State of the state of planet Earth.
State of planet Earth. I still stay on it and still scroll past all the crap.
I agree. I mean, it's why I'll be back. I just need a break. A couple weeks off.
What helped me was like on days where I'm really productive, I usually forget about Twitter. And the best thing I can do after a long day of productive work is just resist the urge to read all the 200 unread tweets in my timeline. And just like scroll to top and be done with it. Whatever, there's nothing important in there to miss, probably. And if there was, then someone will probably retweet it tomorrow or something.
That's definitely the argument for just ignoring it for days or a week at a time, is whatever you miss is unimportant.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, great episode. Congrats on your vacation.
It's finally going to happen.
It's going great. Okay, so next week and the week after you are off. Is that correct?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's correct.
Cool. Well, I'll be back next week with some special guest. Don't know who it is yet.
Ooh, exciting. Mystery.
Mystery. It's a mystery to me as well. Enjoy your time off. Post some photos to Slack, actually only if you get online. And
I might tweet a photo or two.
Oh yeah. All right, well, look forward to catching up when you get back.
Yeah, me too. Have a nice time without me, and enjoy the guests that you have on.
Right on. Later.
Bye.